Howdy Om, Polsha, and g'day. Well, video number 3. Let's see what I can make of this one. I have moved on from my stop down south and I'm starting my upward journey back up to Scotland. I've moved slightly north and west of Havant. I'm parked up at a place called Marlborough, a very historic town, part of the original King's Road from London to Bristol, I believe, or to Bath, one or the other, possibly both. I'll show you a bit more about that at a later point. The van is running well. I'm getting even more settled. It's just a whole case of adjustment as it needs to be. But on this one, I just want to show you a little bit more about the modifications at the moment and the sorts of things that are arising and what it is I think I want to do as we go on. So you can see the cab there, having removed the bulkhead. I was originally going to put in my own sliding door bulkhead so that I could walk through or slide through in between the seats. But because certainly in the short term I'm not intending putting any windows in the back of the van at all, I realised very quickly that having the windows at the front was actually quite important, as much for ventilation as for anything else. Although when I'm sitting in the van, mostly I keep the side door slightly ajar at least, if not fully open. But that's been working well, and all I do is just hang a curtain up. You can see I've got a bit of a ledge there. And at the moment I'm just pinning a curtain, but of course I'll put up an actual, like a rod, or I'll fix something more permanent. Anyway, that's where we're at the moment. So let me swing around and I'll work out my camera how do I make that go round? Maybe I don't. Okay, that's better, isn't it? I'll be back. So, swinging around from the passenger's side, we've got the sliding door. As I'm in a car park at the moment and there is a small class of junior children playing in the wonderful playground over the road there, I'm just keeping that slightly closed for their privacy and for mine. But you can see again I've got the slightly temporary curtain arrangement here. That's an old sari that I've butchered to create a formal fly screen. It works for, I would say, 90% of the time. I'm getting the odd fly come in, but mostly it's actually been working quite well. Certainly keeping the bees and the wasps out. And when there's a breeze, it blows rather seductively. And it lends quite a nice homely feel to the place. Right, I might put the... can I put the light on? No, I'll open the door a bit wider so we've got more light in here. So I think the children have gone now. Yes, they have. See this lovely park up. There's a meadow over there with sheep in it. We're practically in the town centre. Anyway, more on that another time. So moving on around, you can see that I'm still at the insulation stage of covering. There's nothing much there. I've got a rug on the roof as well as on the floor, which just gives it a nice sort of Casbah feel. That's my spiffy bivvy. You can all put your thoughts together as to how that works. It's mainly emergencies only because most places I've been, I've managed to utilise toilets. Coming around, I originally had everything on the floor. The first part, before getting up to H's place, I had everything just on the floor down there, and that didn't help with the painful back as well. She very kindly gave me these the greenhouse type shelving, but as you can see, I was able to raise the water up off the ground. I have a work surface now, and I can keep things on top. So it saved me doing too much of bending, and I quickly realised I wanted more of those. So when I got to Havant, staying with F and Mr. B, I ordered some more. And so we have this slightly, I mean, it looks wonky It's because I've got it strapped down to within an inch of its life so that it doesn't move when we're travelling. But you can see now I've got the power bank. Now, I had been researching power banks for quite some time, and I'd had my mind set on a completely different sort of arrangement. But with having the power on board, which you can see and did see in the previous film, let me stand under there. Sorry about the lighting. I'll see if I can correct that in editing. There's the Harbin stuck in behind there. The Bluetti was the one that was going to be available to me in the short space of time getting delivered to H's place. It arrived within a day. It's a 1000-watt one, and it's doing everything that I wanted of it. As you can see, the one thing that's plugged in permanently is the Alpicool T50 fridge. It's a fridge freezer option. So if I wanted to, I could make that right hand section into a full freezer. I'm keeping it as a fridge just now, but that could become a freezer portion if I so wish to do so, which I've tried out and it does work. Yeah, so you can see that's working for me. Coming around, everything just, you know, everything was on the floor like that before. That's just the tuckaways. Then we come around to, that's the bedding folded up, but normally what I'm doing is using my chaise lounge. I'm laying out my bedding on that overnight. I've just got a temporary box arrangement underneath there, but knowing that this now works for me and works very well and is very comfortable, I'll be making that into a slightly better and more permanent sort of arrangement for all of that. This is just an example of the lining that I had bought, and will need quite a bit of effort to get sorted and sawn down to size and fitted. It's just tongue and groove. As you can see there, that's a bit that's apart, so you can see how it works. They're about a foot wide. I actually really like it. It looks good, and so it'll just be the effort of putting it in. Anyway, so what are the plans? Originally, I was going to be using some cupboards that I'd inherited from Dad and ultimately Mum. They're 1970s furniture of that teak form that's very costly and a lifelong investment. And I was going to be using that and building my furniture out of those and some sets of drawers. However, having seen how successful these metal shelves have been and knowing how light they are, I'm seeing that being a little bit more functional and actually more easily fitted for me, because I've got bolt holes along the top here and can put bolt holes along the bottom. So I'm really now thinking I'm going to favour putting those in. I could still use a couple of the cabinets that I spoke to you about just now, and I can still use a set of drawers in here, but I think I can make those into hidden shelving against what's there, and then make door frames for them and doors using this siding so that it will all look white and neat around. It will also be narrower, which means it'll maintain some of this wonderful floor space that I've got. Everybody's commented when they come in how lovely the space is, but of course at the moment it's not fully furnished. But if I can maintain that sense of space, that would be wonderful. Having this door open really helps. But yeah, it's beginning to really start to feel like home. I'm feeling very happy in it. I feel very rested when I'm sleeping, so it's doing what I need it to do. Anyway, that's where we are with that. The journey north is going to be a little bit random. I've got a rough idea. It's all going to be north, and it's mainly going to stay in the west, unless I pop in a little bit to Nottingham to see my brother. Haven't decided on that yet. I'm actually staying here a tad longer than I had planned at Marlborough because it is just such a wonderful park up. So I'm actually going to do a separate little video a little bit on that. It'll be mainly photos because I keep forgetting to press the video, but you'll get a good idea of where I am, what it has to offer, and so on. Thanks for watching.